Hey, urban politics. Let's get right into it like a car and drive. First things first, Tyler, the Creator, I guess got into a little beef with DJ Khaled. Why? He had the #1 album. DJ Khaled felt like he should have the #1 album. Oh well, he didn't get it because they was talking about something called bundling that artists are doing now, bundling products with their music. So they didn't count some of his units. He got salty. He raised a stink about it. DJ Khaled has a lot of money and a lot of power. So they listened to him and gave him the #1 spot. You know what I'm saying? A fan of Tyler, the Creator's had tweeted him. And in the tweet he had said DJ Khaled's album is like if someone has name brand clothes but the outfit is trash. Kind of like DJ Khaled's album. I guess there it is. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that is what it is. Tyler, the Creator, is an amazing guy. Amazing skills. He's put people on the internet. Frank Ocean. I know you've heard of that guy. He's down with Tyler, the Creator. Also Odd Future. He sold out a show at the Garden, Madison Square Garden. Kid's amazing. So, you know, DJ Khaled caught feelings, was salty. DJ Khaled's like, I got a ton of money and a ton of top tier artists on my album. Tyler, the Creator, just has talent, but you know what? Sometimes talent breaks through in the music industry and people recognize that and people glom onto that. So obviously that's what's happened in this case. DJ Khaled, grow up and deal with it and know that sometimes music is like politics. You can buy your way in, but sometimes you can't. So there's that. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Lil Nas X. You've heard the guy's name. He's all over the place. #1 album in the country, probably still has it. What can I say about this dude? He's killing them right now. He's created a new genre. I tell people who are my age all the time, some of these guys have created new genres. Future, Migos, I don't think they're the best MCs in the world, but they have created new genres. This is a new kind of hip-hop, a new kind of rap music. He's done the same thing. This is like a, you know, hip-hop country type thing or whatever that he's doing. It's a new genre. Hats off to him for doing it. Let's hope he gets paid because he did use a sample from Trent Reznor, 9 Inch Nails. If you're not familiar with 9 Inch Nails, do yourself a favor. After this, you let your little fingers do the walking over to YouTube. Put in 9 Inch Nails. Put in Trent Reznor. That guy's amazing. The music is amazing. But I guess Lil Nas X sampled his stuff. Probably not thinking that this song would go that far and be that big a deal, but it is. So now Trent Reznor's like, I want my money, which makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay for sample clearance. Even if you don't know the song is going to be a hit, but when it is a hit and you do make millions, then you have people coming at you about sample clearance. So that is what it is. If I was Lil Nas X right now, I'd just be doing shows, because you may not get paid off the physical units, which is like album sales, but you can definitely get paid off of you showing up in person and connecting with audiences in the form of a show. So do that right now. Cat's young, he's a high school dropout, so he can make other songs. But this right here is like solidified him in the music industry anyway. #1 hit off of this song. Like I said, he grabbed the beat off of the internet or whatever, and it was a Trent Reznor sample that made this hit. He's good. He'll be all right. He just needs to do a lot of shows right now so he can at least capitalize on this hit single and make a little bit of money. Moving on to politics, because this is urban politics. Nancy Pelosi, I guess she had a meeting with some Republicans in a dark room about lowering drug prices. A lot of Democrats don't like that. A lot of young Democrats in the House of Representatives have a problem with that. I can understand that because they're all about transparency. Transparency is great. But I'm old enough to remember a day when politicians would go into a dark room, crack a fifth of Jim Beam, sit down and talk about things that they had in common. You're a Republican, I'm a Democrat, but we both want health care. We both want education for children. Let's build on that, and then legislation would happen and things would get accomplished in this country. Right now, that's not happening. You got Twitter, you got Facebook, you got Instagram. Nancy Pelosi says something within 10 seconds, it's all over the country, all over the world. It's hard to get things done in a climate like that, and politically people have become so entrenched in their sides, we can't get anything done. So, you know what I'm saying? You tell me that Nancy Pelosi is meeting in a dark room with Republicans? Good. And how about this? She's meeting about lowering drug costs. That's going to help anybody who takes medication, myself included. So come on now, how could you be against that? I'm not against that, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Cut her some slack. Some of these people, they need some political wiggle room, and that's what she's getting by meeting in these dark rooms with these Republicans, because everything ain't gonna be on blast. And I'm all about transparency too. I hear that. We need transparency. Transparency is a good thing. At the same time, these people need the space to be able to, get away from the cameras, get away from the internet, get away from social media, and do what they need to do politically. So there's that. Moving on. Farmers are mad. Trump then started a trade war, going on and on about tariffs that he don't really even understand. And now, because of that, he told the farmers, well, don't worry about it. I'm going to give you $12 billion, a $12 billion bailout for farmers. And a lot of them were like, we don't want your bailout. We want you to just shut up and let us keep doing business like we've been doing it for years. I heard some farmers talking about how some of these relationships will never be restored. How, how we would have been fine if he hadn't done that. We don't want the bailout. We don't want a handout because they know that's welfare. And a lot of these people are the same people who like to run around talking about how black and brown people are sucking the government dry because of their welfare and all these welfare queens. Now they don't have that anymore because they're getting, money from the government. That's welfare. So, years ago I told a white lady, that I worked with. I said, a subsidy. That's corporate welfare. She said, what you talking about? I said, yeah, free money that a corporation gets from the government is welfare. That's corporate welfare. They call it a subsidy, but it's corporate welfare. She was tripping, and then some of the other white people and black people that we work with told her, yeah, that's what that is. So see what I'm saying? So these farmers, and they know what's up. I've seen some of them on the news lately talking about, Mr. Trump, we don't want the bailout. We want you to just, let things go the way they've been going, because they're saying some of these relationships they've had established for years, and they said some of them will never come back. So it is what it is, but he's doing this to prove a point, to get tough with China or whatever. So he's giving them $12 billion. I just want them to know that they're in the same bucket as some of my people who they like to talk down on and act like they're better than. Nope, you too are now getting welfare from the government. So welcome. Anyway, moving on. I want to talk about a chick, this black chick. Yeah, I called her a chick. This black woman named Candice Owens. She's a trip. She gonna say that blacks had it better after slavery. That's ridiculous. Anyway, she is a shill of the right. She was with some conservative outlet, and they were paying her good money, but then she said some old crazy comments about Hitler was okay until he took his, his policies globally. That was ridiculous. So that was too much. So they cut her now. She's not even with them anymore. It just blows me away that they're always able to find a black or brown face to just, totally sell out their whole people and their whole culture. I'm like, this girl, and I look at her, I'm like, look, first of all, sister, you just as black as I am. So you know what you're saying is BS. Second of all, you're an intelligent woman. I've heard you talk. You're not stupid. So you know exactly what you're doing and exactly the bill of goods that you're selling. So the fact that she would do that just for some money, that hurts. You know what? I say all that, but ain't nobody offered me $2 or $3 million to sell out yet. Let's see what I do when they do. Moving on. Let me move on. Pence. Mike Pence, our vice president, he got protested. He was going to speak at this place, Billingsley, and he got protested. People didn't want him there, of course, because of his views, because of his anti-gay views, probably because he's, vice president, right-hand man to Trump. They don't like Trump, all of that good stuff. But this also leads me into talking about this other issue I had with Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris, saying no to Foxhall town halls, or the Fox News town halls. That's not good. We can't be doing that. We can't be doing that. Now, I heard Samantha Bee, who I love and respect. I love it. The Full Frontal with Samantha Bee, she gets it in. That woman knows what she's talking about. But I disagree with her, and I disagree with a lot of other people who say, why would they go on Fox? All Fox News does is twist your words. They're not really listening. Their constituents are not people who are going to vote for you. Why would you even waste your time? And I'm like, but see, here's the thing though. You have to do that because Barack Obama talked about going and talking to people who were not going to vote for him. And there might be 300 people. These 300 people are conservative. They're not going to vote for me. But after I go there and I give my spiel and I talk to them and they see that I'm a real person who really wants to help out, maybe I get 3 of those votes. Maybe I get 5 of them. Maybe I get 50 of them. You don't know until you go and you try. So you don't never just leave votes on the table like that. And I think both of these ladies, they left votes on the table. Don't be like that. Elizabeth Warren, you got good stuff to talk about. They want to hear it. Kamala Harris, you got good stuff to talk about. I guarantee you, people who tune into Fox, they want to hear it. And if you gave it to some of them, you might actually turn some of them on and turn them over to your views. But you won't know that unless you go and do the town hall. We can't be afraid to do that. You have to go to places with people who do not agree with you and talk to them. I know. I have went to places, granted I was at work, at different jobs I did or whatever, but I went into rooms full of people who did not look like me, who do not agree with my political opinion, and I had some great conversations. And let me tell you something, I actually learned something, and I know they learned something because they gave me that look when the light bulb's going off with a couple things I said to them. So that's the only way that we change this thing. We got to have a dialogue with each other. We cannot be so entrenched in our political sides that we cut the other side off. So there's that. Moving on. People want to talk back to pop culture. People on the radio, they talking about, would Beyonce be as popular if she was dark-skinned? No, sir. Why do I say that? This is America. And everybody's always been about light skin. When I found out that they was bleaching skin in China, I was amazed. My fiance was like, why are you amazed? Why would that amaze you? Everybody's on that. White is right, black is whack. I hear that, and that's sad. I didn't know, though, that was still being perpetuated here in 2019 going to 2020, but I guess it is. It is what it is. Now, that's not Beyonce's fault. That is not her fault at all. That has nothing to do with her. This system of white supremacy and all this stuff that we're dealing with, years before she was born, years before I was born, years before my father was born. He's like 71, 72. Years before his father, my grandfather Buddy, rest in peace, was born. See what I'm saying? So it's been going on for a long time. It's got nothing to do with any of us, but it is what it is. Marcus Garvey had been all over the world, and what did he say? I've been all over the planet, and everywhere I go, brown people catching hell. What's going on? So that's what's up. So moving on. Andrew Yang, that's my dude. He'll be in the debates tonight. We're going to talk about that a little later on. But that's my dude. Hopefully he'll be the first Asian American president. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? He has the thing, where he wants to give every American over 18 $1,000 a month. That would be great. Help out with bills. Help you get your life together. Would definitely help your mental health, because you would know that your home is taken care of with that $1,000 a month. But he was saying people keep coming with the same stuff, and I get sick of hearing it too. We don't have the money for that. There's no money for that. And he said, well, nobody said that when we were bailing out these corporations to the tune of $12 billion. $12 billion. And I might be off with that number. I think that's the number that he gave, so I'm riding on that, maybe more. But my point is, they gave all that money to bail out these corporations. They act like they can't give $1,000 a month to working class people like me and you. That's garbage. And if you believe that, and if you ride on that, well, you're probably Republican and probably just not too smart. I'm sorry. Because the government definitely has the money to break bread like that. So they need to break bread. And that's why I like this guy, Andrew Yang. When people come at him with that, he came right back at him with, I don't want to hear that. We got all this, man. We give Egypt $1 billion a year. And that's just one. Go ahead and let your little fingers do some Googling. Look at all the countries we give billions. We give them billions every year just because we have interest there or whatever. You can't tell me they couldn't give $1,000 to every American. $1,000 to every American over 18. You can't tell me that can't happen here in America. It could in a heartbeat. We just need to have legislators and politicians and presidents who will do that. So there's that. Moving on. Bill O'Reilly has the audacity to talk about reparations. Number one, if you are not a person of color, please do not go there talking about reparations. Mitch McConnell, almost called him my other nickname for him, starts with a B, rhymes with Mitch. McConnell, but I ain't gonna go there. It's a family show. I'm not gonna go there. But Mitch McConnell, he gonna say stuff, oh, that happened years ago, and nobody alive today was around when slavery was going on, and blah, 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 blah. Dude, you and a whole bunch of other people are still benefiting from slavery. I think it was Mos Def who had said something. He said, this country is 5 centuries deep in cotton money. Thank you. All that money that you made from the free labor of the slaves, cut it out. Do we deserve reparations? Yes. Will we get it? Probably not. Please don't hold your breath. A friend of mine said, dude, that will never happen. But I like the fact that it's been such a nugget of conversation lately. Everybody's going on and on and on about reparations. That's why he felt the need to talk about it. Because a lot of them guys, they want to poo-poo it off rip to make sure that people don't even go down that road, but people are going down that road. I would love it if it would happen, but I don't think it will. That's how it always is in this country. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. Everyone else has gotten reparations. Everyone else. I read somewhere that slave owners got reparations when slavery was abolished to make up for their loss of profits. Think about that. Slave owners who owned people got reparations from the government because they lost profits. And we can't get reparations? Whatever. So we'll see where that goes, but it's ridiculous. Anyway, moving on. There's a crisis at the border. Been a crisis at the border, but not like this. Now, Trump gonna go on TV and he gonna say, oh, these are policies that Obama did, and Obama put kids in cages. I stopped it. That's a lie. If Obama was putting kids in cages, it would be 24-hour news like it's 24 hours news now. It's 24-hour news now because it's unprecedented, which means it ain't never happened like this. Now, did some of this go on while Obama was president? I'm sure. But obviously not enough to where it was newsworthy because it was never in the news. Now, your conservative friends will say something like, oh, because he was in bed with the news, because the news is liberal. They're all liberal. Get that out of here. He was a black man who was the first president. If this was going on during his administration, I guarantee you, I'd have been talking about it. We'd have been talking about it. We'd have known about it. So this didn't go on while Barack Obama was president. If it did, it doggone sure didn't go on like it's going on now. And Trump will answer for this. I seen an article today that showed a man and his daughter face down dead trying to cross our border, trying to get here to America. This is a bad situation. We got a whole lot of people coming into America, and really, you know what is funny? They want something that we don't even enjoy all like that as black folk. You know what they're looking for? Justice. They come from places where the police have been bought off, the politicians have been bought off by the drug lords, and they own everything. They're trying to get away from that. They don't understand that we're not too far from that. There's a lot of people who would like to say that, but guess what? Right now, you're in the pushback zone. So if you want to push back on what I'm saying. I live for pushback, but I'm going to keep it real. This is America, and guess what? People have been bought off around here too, but we do still have some utterance of justice. And a lot of them, that's what they're crossing the border for. They want that justice. Just some kind of justice. Just to be able to live somewhere where a gang can't just show up and tell me that my son going to have to join them and I'm going to start selling dope out of my house or they're going to kill everybody in here. They want to live somewhere where that isn't commonplace. In America, that isn't commonplace, not yet. So that's what it is. They're trying to get over here for that. It is what it is. Lay off them people, Trump, and stop trying to put it on Barack Obama because he did deport a lot of people, but he had a kinder, gentler way of doing it. With that said, Democratic debates are tonight. Please be watching. I'm going to watch it and I'm going to report to you how I feel about it. I think I'm running out of time. Joyce Beatty. She's a local politician. They said she's been phoning in her town halls. I don't hate on her for that. She's a lifelong politician, so is she phoning it in? Yeah, that's what a lifelong politician would do. They also said she's going hard about Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. She should. That's a black woman looking out for another black woman. We got all these movies about Thor and Superman and all these other superheroes. Harriet Tubman was a real life superhero. I could not tell you what it feels like to be a slave. I could not imagine being a slave. If I had been a slave, I probably would have lived for like 10 minutes because as soon as I got old enough to tell a white person, F you, they'd have shot me and I'd have been gone. So I wouldn't have been a good slave at all. This woman was a slave, freed herself, and then came back to free hundreds, maybe even thousands of her own people. And you know what she said? I would have freed more if they had only knew they were slaves. I'm going to leave you with that. Harriet Tubman, she deserves a $20 bill. Hell, she deserves a movie like all these Marvel comic made up goofballs. She won't get it. But I'm not mad at Joyce Beatty going hard for that. You should go hard for that. That's just that deserves that. Because like I said, she's a real life hero. Here we go glorifying all these other, Ant-Man and all these other, characters that were made up. And I dig that stuff too. I watch the movies too. I like it. But Harriet Tubman is a real life superhero. This woman freed plenty of slaves. She helped slaves get free. after freeing herself. That is miraculous. We should do some honor for that and go ahead and put her on the 20. We need to do more, but at least we started by putting her on the 20. That's it. That's my time. I'm Phizzedmusic. This has been Urban Politics. If you dig what you seeing, please go over to YouTube and subscribe. Phizzedmusic. That's what's up. I'm out. See you around like a donut.